Hello, Charmed Life listener. I have a great episode coming up for you. Before we get in that, I just wanted to mention that Animal Communication Certification course is around the corner. Now, this is occurring August 20th of 2023, but if you're listening at another time, I'm offering this course about 2 times per year, maybe more. So check the link in the description. We have an amazing, miraculous time. It's for all levels of development. If you're interested in opening up this magical, wonderful, and very natural ability of telepathically communicating with animals, then this is for you. And if you just love animals and you love spirituality and you love being around other people who are growing and expanding in this amazing experience of witnessing, connecting with animals on a way that you've always known we could, and yet in this program where we come together, we actually see evidences of it. Really cool, amazing stuff. Connecting with animals. So much healing, so much expansion, and so much fun. The link to read all about the curriculum and the live times is in the show notes. I can't wait to work with you there. Hello and welcome to the Charmed Life podcast. This podcast is all about magic, metaphysics, mysticism, and the unconditional love of the universe, and I am your host. My name is Trisha Carr. I'm deeply honored that you are here listening to this podcast. I'm honored because, you've chosen to spend some resonant space with me, but I'm also so grateful to you because you are doing this in pursuit of what is correct for you and you expanding your light so that you can shine your light on our beautiful world. So thank you for doing this. I want to share with you, I have a wonderful guest, by the way, but I want to share with you that I have a practice that I do that I actually teach when in my one-on-one services. It's from my hypnotherapy college. I'm a teacher and a graduate, but I'm a teacher of HMI College of Hypnotherapy. And a couple of resources there that you can get right away from HMI. And I will be sure to put it in the show notes that you can find the link to be able to submit yourself to get free hypnotherapy sessions with an HMI clinical resident. So these are people who have gone through their coursework and they're in their residency, overseen by their mentor and by other instructors. And you can get free sessions. And I have recommended people to this and they have relished it and it's been wonderful for them. So there's a resource for you. But also HMI, the proprietor, the founder of HMI, he's passed. Love you, Dr. K. Dr. John Kappas, and he developed something called the Mental Bank. And this is a nightly practice where you have defined certain value events for yourself and you pay them yourself in mental money. And you do this right before you go to bed because it goes into your subconscious mind as you drift into sleep. And it actually ties into actually manifesting cash, money, as well as just improving your life overall. But you can make a value event something like, obviously doing work. Or you can make a value event something that's important to your life, like spending time with your partner. And one of my value events is to listen to some kind of podcast or book or read a book or something that's totally for my own edification and not for work, not for school, which those things, because of the work and the education that I'm in, are for my edification. But you know what I mean? I have a value event for doing it just for me. And so I'm just recognizing you right now for doing that. I'm giving you credit for your value event. I want you to give yourself credit for it too. Well, I have a really great conversation with a very vibrant and fantastically awake and just beautiful soul. So before I head into that conscious conversation, I want to invite you to check the show notes for my 2 programs that I have going. They're both passive and live. Isn't that interesting? They're a paradox. And that's cool because when we're close to paradox, We're close to God. We're close to the universe. We're close to creation, creativity. So I have the Easy Intuition and Meditation program. It's a 30-day journey where you're delivered daily a lesson, a meditation, and these are all to help to attune you more deeply to your intuition and to your meditation practice and to your self-inquiry and self-healing practice. We have divination lessons, we have human design lessons, and we have tons and tons of beautiful meditations. And these programs are so beautiful. Again, not trying to pat myself on the back, but the way that I operate, because I am a channel and I'm a transpersonal hypnotherapist, and this is how I work in my one-on-one practice as well, is I channel from the higher selves, connecting to the personal self, and I combine these together. When it's a group program or when it's passive, spirit is so intelligent. All of the higher selves are so intelligent, aware, and time is not a constraint. The higher selves all come together in this intentional channel and they co-create it. They drop this information in so it will feel absolutely tailored to you, because it is magically also tailored to each and every one of us. And so that's what you'll find in Easy Intuition. And also, again, like in the one-on-one work I use, I'm bringing higher self into personal self. Not I, we are, but I'm the objective and clear channel to be able to bring that in for you. And the other program similar, but it's there. They have it's not a 30-day journey. The other one is Empowered Empath, and it has these 8 powerful lessons and these hypnotic journeys and meditations. And both of these programs, so the Empowered Empath is obviously for people who are highly empathic, highly sensitive, and I like to recommend it to people who have an open emotional center in their human design chart, especially. But if you just identify to being highly sensitive or empathic, then it's an invitation for you. It's designed for you as well. But both of these programs, Easy Intuition and Meditation and Empowered Empath, are extremely affordable and low cost, and you have access to the content for a full year. So you can keep going back to the resource of the journeys and the lessons themselves are deeply attuning. But there's also these bonus group live meetings with me, live coaching, and they are happening in August. Check them out. And even outside of these bonus meetings, sign up for it, because they're so powerful and so beautiful because of you. And then, you may catch some bonus meetings coming up some other time. So there you go. There's that. And now, I had so much fun connecting. I was on her podcast and now she's on mine. So let me introduce you to my conversation partner in our conscious conversation. It's Petia Kolibova-Burns. She is an abundance and light activation coach who guides women to intuitively connect with their inner vision so they can experience personal and professional magnetism and become unapologetically abundant. Ooh, I get chills every time I say that. I love this brand of hers, Unapologetically Abundant. That's the name of her podcast. I'll be on sometime in the next month or two. I'm not really sure when it airs, but you'll find it on my newsletter if you're signed up there. Or if you go ahead and follow her podcast, because it's great. So let's talk about Petia a little more. Again, it's Petia Kolibova-Burns. Her mission is to empower visionaries who are on the path to embody their fullest self-expression, to soulfully expand into a quantum leap in all dimensions of their lives. Petia gives immense clarity and exact steps to unlock women's divine feminine and abundance mindset. Through subconscious work as a certified breathwork facilitator, reiki, NLP, and human design practitioner, she leads her 6- and 7-figure clients to their next level in life and business. If she's not interviewing fellow experts on her podcast, Unapologetically Abundant, traveling the world with her husband, hosting retreats, or reading, you'll find her in nature, disconnecting from the world and connecting even deeper to herself. And you'll find her also now spending time with her brand new baby. Well, she's pregnant, as she shares in our conversation, and she's about to head into motherhood in that next tier where you actually get to hold the baby outside of your body. So this is a really great conversation, and I'm going to welcome you to it. And I want to also invite you to stay on past the conversation, because I want to share with you a little bit of a teaching, a little bit of an insight that I think you will find very valuable. And it is about transpersonal transcendence in transpersonal psychology, and how this is all activated in one's self-actualization, and how this is not a spiritual bypass, but it's actually a soul's journey. So stay tuned for that. I think you'll really enjoy it. And here is my conversation with Petia Kolibova-Burns, and I'll chat with you on the other side. I want to introduce my very special guest. Now, she is an abundance and light activation coach and an author, and her name is Petia Kolibova-Burns. And I hope I'm saying, I forgot. I always ask, double check how to say the name. I'm so excited to hear about her abundance activation process. So welcome. Welcome to the show, Petia. Did I say your last name's right?
You said it perfectly, the whole thing. I feel like you've been practicing. Yes. Yes.
I think I did. I did actually a little bit practice. So Kolibova, is that Russian or Ukrainian?
It's Czech.
It's Czech. Republic. Oh, you're from Czech Republic. Oh, that's wonderful. Yes. Oh, I love it. So, well, welcome to the show and welcome to the United States. Even though I know you are.
13 years later, but thank you. Thank you so much for the warm welcome.
We're so happy you're here.
Right? Oh, so beautiful to be here. And it's so fascinating because like everyone, it's like, oh, you have such a beautiful name, but nobody can pronounce it, So, but it's really fun because it really starts the conversation and the curiosity from people. Yeah. And I feel like it just opens people up more because then you can like each of us see our own uniqueness. So I think it's really beautiful and a great conversation starter, right? Yeah. When people try to guess where you're from.
Yeah, exactly. So I should have just asked instead of guessing, hey, look at you. I have a big old mason jar too. Both drinking out of a big mason jar.
Yep. In this summer heat, you really get to do that.
Yes. We're both over here on the West Coast burning up. And I know the rest of the country is right now too. Well, I want to hear all about your work. Would you mind telling us what it means to be an abundance activation coach, or tell us about your journey? Tell us about this process. I'm super interested in, because I could use some abundance activation. I mean, I guess we all could, right? That's the journey of being a human.
I love that question, and to make it really short, because I feel like we could be sitting here for hours and I can be telling you my journey and why I'm being who I'm being and why I'm doing what I'm doing. But in a short, I truly feel that I became the one that I really needed on my journey, because when I was growing up, I was living in scarcity. And when I say scarcity, it doesn't mean poverty. We have to really differentiate those two. Poverty is when your basic needs are not met. The scarcity can be scarcity of love, scarcity of energy, scarcity of feeling safe, scarcity of really not seeing yourself as worthy and deserving. And that's what I've been, raised in, the scarcity of time and energy and just never feeling enough. And as I was going through my journey, facing mental and physical abuse by my stepfather that led me into feeling unworthy and undeserving and unlovable, toxic relationships, not only with men, but also with myself, because I completely blocked myself from the outside world and just was running away from myself. And, that led me into attempt of suicide, almost 2 decades of eating disorder. Like, again, not seeing the richness of life and really feeling like I shouldn't be even here, that I'm just taking up space for someone else who is more special than me. So going through this, I really had to rewrite the beliefs that I had about people, about others, about what does it even mean to be alive and to be here, and find a deeper connection than just outsourcing my happiness and worthiness. And throughout this journey, as I was learning, and I love that you were talking about human design, I do have a open solar plexus, so I am a sacral generator, 5-1.
Me too, I'm 5-1.
There you go. The 2 leaders here. I just love that. And I feel like coming back to myself really helped me to become the channel and the vessel for the possibilities and the abundance. And not just only in my life, but I started to notice that people around me got activated.
Oh, yeah.
into the possibilities, into what can you really create when you are unapologetic and true to yourself. So I started to notice it. And then when you step into that embodiment, when you're like, oh, okay, this is not just a coincidence,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's just so beautiful, because it really shifted my perspective on the world, on myself, and what is really possible. And, that's when I put that label on abundance, abundance coach, abundance activation call, like coach, because I realized that each and every one of us has a unique codes that we come here with. And when you activate them within yourself, when you embody them within yourself, you can activate them in others. And it's so beautiful to see people blossoming and coming to life, coming back to life and back to themselves.
Wow, that's amazing. I would love to hear about the process and how do you activate those codes? Can one activate those codes? I mean, I think we do have to activate them on our own, but when we have a mentor, a guide, a coach to hold space, then we can like exponentially grow that, can't we? Tell me all about the process. How do we do this? How do we activate these codes?
I love that. So there are a couple things, because I do believe that we don't need to. So there are two aspects of this. I do believe that we are like, we have a direct connection to whatever you believe.
Yeah.
God, source, universe, angels, spirits. There is a direct connection. And I'm very spiritual. My husband is Christian, and he goes to the church, reads the Bible. And for me, I honor him and I respect him because that is his connection. For me, I say, well, I talk to the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it, in a shower.
Yeah.
Like, like I feel like I don't need to read a Bible. I don't need to go to the church. There is a direct connection how you can ask and receive and activate these things within you. What happens, and it also through, human design and many other different tools, very often we are conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
Very often our bodies are not pure channels anymore because there is so many toxins in the environment, so many poisons and toxins in our water, in our food, and unfortunately it's building up in our bodies. So it's sometimes challenging to just like sit and channel, and it because you're channel yourself, like you really get to take care of yourself and your vessel. And so that's the one thing I do believe we can do it and activate it ourselves. And on the other hand, I feel like when you're still going through this deconditioning and rewriting the old beliefs and having so many layers of who do you think you should be or could be in the world, instead of really seeing yourself, then having a guide, having a mentor, having a coach, it's very helpful. And that's why I started to do this year. I got really, I got this download to be doing abundance activation calls with women. So I can really activate the abundance. And for me, it was like paying it forward because I was already pregnant. And I'm like, I don't know what my life and business be like when the baby is here. It's like, talk about complete trust and surrender, right? So I wanted to really pay it forward. So I have created a process where I guide you through with me. One, being in my energy. Again, I have activated those codes. So being in my energy, being in my presence, or being on a call with me, it's already like activating something within you because you're open, receptive, and you ask for it, right? Ask and you shall receive. And when I do these beautiful calls, I help people to get clear awareness on what's holding them back from attracting and receiving abundance, really seeing the blind spots, because again, we're conditioned, we cannot see that clearly. And also create action plan, because I don't want people to come on 30 minutes call with me and feeling better and feeling inspired and then go back to the same things, back to the same habits. So we really uncover and looking at the lack thinking, hidden challenges that might be really sabotaging them from healing through the blocks and receiving the abundance and amplifying the impact. Because a lot of women that I work with, and I almost want to dare to say that all of them, they're not money motivated. their impact and freedom and peace motivated. And when they have this motivation, the money comes to support their mission. So when I jump on these calls, like the people, they really feel like re-energized and renewed and just like really realign with their abundance, with the possibilities, seeing clearly, and really knowing what they can do to shift it, to activate the abundance. And for each of them, it's going to be really different. For some of them, it can be ancestral healing. For some of them, it can be working on their worthiness. For some of them, it can be, like working on their boundaries. Some of them, it's creating a different relationship with money. Like, it's different. Every person, every soul is different. And of course, like I don't come here to fix anything in 30 minutes, but I'm bringing a new perspective and activating something new in them they couldn't see before.
So did I just hear a person isn't, typically or naturally money motivated, but they don't have to be, that they can be impact and freedom motivated, and then the money will come anyway, as long as they maybe remove whatever blocks or limitations have and activate the codes within them.
Absolutely. The thing is that I personally believe in holistic abundance.
Sure. Yes.
Because I did it when I was focusing on money and work and, achievement. And even though I achieved money, more than I ever did in the past, I wasn't fulfilled because I wasn't focusing on the holistic abundance. How am I feeling? How is my health? How are my relationships? How am I contributing to the world? So I teach about holistic abundance. Mm-hmm. And then when you do that, the money comes because you change who you're being and you change your relationship with money. And I truly want for women and people who come here to create an impact to have money. It's like, Abraham Hicks says, like, you cannot get poor enough to help poor people. Mm-hmm. I didn't come here to be poor and to be struggling. When you can activate, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Go ahead.
When you can like really activate the abundance in your life, it starts to trickle into all other areas of your life. And when you do achieve the money, you're fulfilled.
Yeah.
It's not just let's get the money. I always say, like, it's so easy. Let's sit down on 1 hour strategy session. I will tell you how to make more business, like more money in your business. But it's not necessarily make you feel fulfilled, because that's what I have done. If you don't change who you're being, if you don't change your mindset, then no amount of money and possessions will really help you until you really align with that holistic abundance on all of the areas. Because I don't feel like people are really successful if they have to be sacrificing their health or their relationships to make money. I mean, for what,
And we will be right back. Easy intuition and meditation, your 30-day roadmap for an empowered life guided from within. It is live now. Only $98. This course is delivered as daily meditations, lessons, and prompts over the course of 30 days, and you have a whole year to access. Now, the intention here is to help you to gain that sovereignty in your consciousness, to be deeply in tuned and attuned to your intuition, and to have that show up in your life. So if you have been feeling bewildered or lost or uninspired, this sense of needing to be on your life's mission, well, it all comes down to you. And meditation is the portal for this. If you have struggled in the past to have a meditation practice that is self-healing and inspiring, or if you are just ready to upgrade and rekindle a deep romance with the universe through your meditation practice, well, this is designed for that. And if you would like to get in touch with your intuition so it can direct your life, whether for the first time or one of the first times or for the 100th time, again, this is for you. This is extremely high value and very affordable, $98. You have access to the first lesson now, and you will get all of the lessons and meditations in a 30-day cycle. If you check out out, if you want to go and check out the information page, you have a sample of the lessons, you have a sample of the meditation, so you can really get the idea of this. We have high quality produced meditations, easy to digest education that is attuning and meditative in and of themselves, lessons on divination, lessons on human design, prompts for journaling, self-inquiry and divination. And for a limited time only, we have bonus healing sessions. If you're listening to this now, you definitely want to check when those healing sessions are coming up. Now, I will tell you, they are very soon, and these are bonus to it. They are group, they are powerful to give us a sense of that upgrade and a sense of community and a sense of witnessing under this container of spirit. So check it out. It's coming up very soon. I can't wait to see you there. Empowered Empath. This is a program designed for the sensitive soul, for the person with that empathic nature. And by the way, that is a healing ability. However, this is a healing ability that you can't turn off. You cannot turn off your empathic nature because it's more than just a psychic or healing ability. It is also how you are designed. So the Empowered Empath is a powerful program that is also gentle, consists of 4 modules with 8 life-altering lessons, 4 aura tuning meditations, and we have bonus group healing and coaching sessions that are coming up really soon. You definitely want to check the show notes so you can see when those are coming up. You have access to it for a whole year. You'll be able to continue to water the garden of your empathic nature. You'll learn how to feel centered and peaceful as a sensitive person, how to use your gifts as a superpower that they are meant to be, and you'll be receiving attunement and healing and new life strategies to live in the power and purpose of your sensitive nature. It's especially tailored for those who want to turn their empathic and sensory overwhelm into intuitive strength. It is immersive yet very gentle program, and it's suitable for all levels of development. And I especially recommend it for those whose human design body graph reveals that they have an undefined emotional solar plexus. So if you are just ready to turn that sensitive sponging into the thing that we really need right now, we need your sensitive genius shining on this planet to be in the high frequency, high functioning of your sensitive superpower. So join Empowered Empath. You have access to the lessons starting right away. Oh, by the way, it's very affordable and even comes with payment plans. Only $177 for all of this content, and you can make a payment plan of 3 months or 6 months. I made it extremely affordable and accessible because I know what it's like to need the help. So if it's your first time of really healing your empathic nature, or you need to do it another time, this is the program for you. I can't wait to see you there. And now back to the show. I used to work in a totally different industry, and it was sales oriented. It was the booze industry too, it was liquor. So you can imagine, like not the same as this industry that I'm in now, but it was sales too, which is so harsh and, so honestly, it's toxic masculinity. And when I would work with different people every single day inside the company. And so every time they would greet one another, there was this standard greeting that was like, "How are you?" Oh, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm great. I'm good. How have you been?" And they're like, "Oh, just working my ass off, 14 hours a day, 8 days a week." And I like one person I almost said, didn't say this. My subtext was like, "Didn't you have a heart attack last year?" Like, why is that a brag? It was really so sad. This was the pattern of me meeting people every day. It was a brag that they were depriving their health. And, the complaint was a brag. And they were also, compassionately, I could see they were complaining because they were unhappy and they didn't know how to finally be there. This destination addiction, this chase, this dopamine addiction that we have in the chase too. Mm-hmm.
I see you. And I feel like a lot of it's shifting because I really feel like a lot of people are awakening, and especially with what happened in, 2019, 2020, when people start awakening and they had a time to sit themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because I know it wasn't fun to go through what we went through for the, past few years, but also it opens up to more truth, more connection, and I feel like so many awakening came from that, and so much, like so many businesses came from that, because people are like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to go back to the sales job. I don't want to be hustling and working hard. It comes back into like when was the last time when you check in with yourself? Like, what
Yeah.
do I really need? How do I really feel? And it's so sad what you're saying, because it's so fascinating. So I'm coming from, we mentioned it, from Czech Republic, from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I was raised there, and I don't live there for over 20 years now, so times are changing. But when I was growing up, it was working hard, hustle, shut up, and grind. And then you compare yourself with everybody else. Do I have a bigger house? Do I have a better car? Do I have a better wife or husband? You know, how are my kids? It was always like this scarcity and comparison, but it was like always like a hustle. And then people were unhappy and living for the weekends, living for the vacation, drinking almost every day. Like drinking there, it's so normal, you know. And I grew up in wine region, you know, so it's just like wine after lunch, one with the dinner, you know, then before you go to bed, so you sleep better. And it's just like numbing and running away. And I just see that, like, I don't want to work hard. I work my booty off. Like, there were times that I had 4 jobs, you know, like 4 side hustles, and I was exhausted and tired. When I used to live in Spain, I had 2 jobs, and I was able to sleep only like 2 or 3 hours, and I got into a car accident, and thankfully nothing happened. It was just like a bump because I didn't see car coming. Thankfully nothing happened, but it was such a wake-up call. Like, what am I grinding for so hard? Why am I hustling so hard? And my husband, he's from California, from Chino. And he was raised and born in California. And when he looks at me, he is like, oh, I'm so inspired by you, by how hard you're working. I was like, no, don't reward me. I don't know. It's like he sees that as something like, wow, you're so disciplined and hardworking. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to be rewarded for that. You know, it's like having a work ethic. It's one thing. I will do what I said I will do. But being rewarded for that, you see, like, a different backgrounds will have different desires on like how to get to the things. Like my husband, he's a 1-3 money Jenny, you know, emotional money Jenny, and he's always like doing million things at the same time. I was like, I am tired just watching you, you know, like how many things you're doing. And he feels satisfied with his busyness.
Yes, right. I mean, he needs to burn it off. I've come to have compassion for people that have so much energy. If they get canceled on, they can get very frustrated because they needed that thing to be able to use some of that energy they have, and that's totally not a concern of mine. I'm a reflector, so it's like that is not how I operate.
Not at all, not at all. And it's so beautiful, you're a reflector. I had a couple of clients who are reflectors, and it's such a unique way how you guys operate and work and show up in the world. It's really beautiful. But you know, like it's just like looking at what do you feel like it has to take. And I'm allowing myself for the ease, because true abundance for me, it's to have the freedom, to have the inner peace, not having to have to, like, if I choose to work, I will work. But it's a choice, not because I have to. Not because I feel like I have to, or I have to prove myself. And just even like, you know, like waking up in the morning without alarm. Being able to have a lunch with my husband in the middle of the day, go watch movie at 3 p.m. It's all of that. It's abundance, because it has to say so much about how we built our life. And when you can be in that energy, work smarter, not harder. It's truly, and this is something that I am personally like proud of, you know, of showing how it can be easy.
Yes, because the universe gives freely and easily. We are abundant. And, you know, I did these things. Recently, I had this. It's so funny that I had a little epiphany, because it's so obvious. It's like empirical the fact that we do have enough resources on this planet. We just literally do. Now, the unconsciousness, the pain, the suffering, the how things are messed up, but technically speaking, there is plenty for everyone on this planet. So it is our mindset or the limiting thoughts that we collectively have that there isn't, that is probably causing it to not be in the enough for everybody. But we actually have more than enough abundance for everyone, but we aren't raised that way. And we are conditioned that, achievement and money is the antithesis to ease or play or pleasure. These two are divorced. It's like these are your two parents. They don't get along, and you can spend time with this one or that one, but not with both. And so sometimes you make enough money that you can have some pleasure, but those are completely separate. And then after you have that pleasure, that vacation or the whatever else, you better get back to it. But there's a divorce. There's a divide between the two. And you say, absolutely not. They are both abundance. They're both the same cloth.
Yes. And I feel like, I love how you beautifully describe it. And I feel like it's the perspective, It's really, what is your perspective and what is your truth and what are your beliefs about things? Because if you believe it has to be hard, it will be hard.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because, and I know you too, like you do meditations, affirmations, and all these beautiful modalities. And when I started with affirmations years ago, I needed to rewrite the belief that it's hard to make money.
Yeah.
And so I created an affirmation that I started to use. The more ease I feel, the easier I make money. It helped me tremendously to overcome that hardworking and hustle mentality. And I realized that, the first 5-figure month that I have made years ago, I was in Czech Republic with my grandma for a month. 3 weeks out of that, I wasn't working. I just did a couple calls in a week. And I made back then $13,000, which was like, wow, I've never done this before. What I realized, though, is that this belief again became limiting.
Oh.
Now listen, and I realized it just recently, thanks to my pregnancy, because there are sometimes times that you're not feeling high vibe and you're not feeling the ease. So I was thinking, if I'm not feeling ease, I cannot make money.
Whoa. Yeah. You conditioned yourself too
far. Exactly. And it was like, wow. So then I had to check in with myself. I'm like, well, is it possible to create abundance and bring in money, even if I'm not feeling on my A game, even if I'm feeling tired? And I had to create the concept of proof. There was a few weeks ago, I was really tired, like pregnancy, like you get no sleep. And then after the babies, I don't want to even think about that. But I'm not getting any sleep for past 8 months. And there was one day that I was really, really tired and I had 2 sales calls. And it was so interesting because I'm like, well, I committed to it. I gotta show up. I showed up and I closed them both.
Nice.
And it was easy and it was beautiful conversation. It was just exciting, invigorating. I was so excited to support them in their life, in their business, what they're creating. It was fun. And, after the calls, I took 30 minutes nap.
Good.
But the thing is that I proved myself that I don't have to feel ease. I don't have to be on my 8 game. So that's why I say it's so important to check with your beliefs, because sometimes we think oh, I'm doing a good thing. I'm doing affirmations and I'm saying this, but what is it creating? So when you look at your reality, really look at how are you getting it? What beliefs took you there? And also remembering that what you're experiencing right now, it's old news.
That's right. Yeah.
We have to remember that, because sometimes we get frustrated, oh, I'm doing, so much, or I'm showing up more than ever before, or I'm feeling more aligned, and why it's nothing happening? Well, because there is still the old momentum.
Yeah. The seasonal lag, there's you know that we are nature, and we forget that sometimes. We think that we're just walking around on nature, but there's actually, that's organic, that's natural for there to be a lag. The cold, the time of like the December 20th, 21st is when we are furthest away from the sun. And so but we don't have the coldest day for like a good month or so because of a seasonal lag. So even though we're literally here, it takes time for it to actually show up in the reality. And so we have the same thing. Like I'm just, expanding on how Petia said it's old news. And that's why we were frustrated. We're like, wait, I worked on this. Why is it here? Give a little time, just stick with it. But then that is also like a refinement process. We get to say, oh, okay, here, it's still here in my reality, and then fortify even more from within about it.
Mm-hmm. So beautiful. I love that you brought it in. It's like expanding, yes. Always expanding.
I want to know, so like I said, you have a special event. You are pregnant, as you've mentioned a couple of times. How far away are we?
35 weeks as of now.
Very close.
I know, everybody. It's like, oh, you're so close. Like, are you so excited? I was like, I feel like I'm still preparing, like mentally and physically. And I keep talking to our baby girl. I'm like, you stay as long as you want. I don't need to sleep.
Well, you won't sleep afterward either for a little bit in that fourth trimester, as they call it. Well, I was wondering tell us about how you might be having your little bit of a baby moon for a bit, but you do activation calls. I want to hear about the ways that people can work with you and to be able to unlock these activation codes that you provide us the facility to do.
I love that. Thank you so much for the invitation. And right now, I'm still doing the abundance activation call because, the baby girl is coming in like 5-6 weeks. We'll see when she chooses to come. Yeah. So before she comes, I'm still offering the free abundance activation calls, which I believe you have a link. If not, I'll just send it to you.
Yeah, we have it right here. That's
Yes, that's it.
That's it. So it's petiakolibova.com/abundance-activation-process. It's in the show notes also, however you're listening or watching.
So that's what I'm focusing right now. And then when I'm gone, I'm going to be bringing back on my courses about manifesting money, and then also unapologetically worthy course. Those are the two ways on how you can be working on, your own pace, your own unique pace. And then we will see when the baby girl lets me come back.
That's so amazing. You're still doing the calls. And yes, I was recently on your podcast, Unapologetically Abundant. Oh, it hasn't been, we recorded it. It hasn't been
not
shared yet. Okay, good. So when that happens, be sure to follow me on Instagram if you aren't already. But of course, follow Petia. I pulled a couple of cards for you. Two of them came out. Would you like to? And what is... So I feel like these are about just everything that is top of mind for you. Obviously, the expansion of your family and how your business is going to continue to flow. And so let's see what we have here. So, divine masculine. Well, that's good. You have a divine masculine partner. So he's going to be helping out a lot. That's what I'm seeing.
I can see that.
Yeah. Well, you have that on your side though, too. But what I'm feeling about that too, besides your partner, and is that you have your strong divine masculine will be able to support a lot of this and to be that support for you, as you're also in the place of your divine feminine working, and doing her beauty and doing the strength that she is, that these two come into alignment and balance within you. It says that it supports our strong, focused, and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping to bring us our dreams and ideas into form. Ooh, and you're bringing something into form, your baby girl, with kindness and wisdom. Your second card is Universal Love, which is the pinnacle of this particular deck, and it's the number 44, that angel number. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole existence to whole existence itself. So, wow, 22 and 44, those are the numerology numbers that you got for these cards. Very, very auspicious, really beautiful. With the Universal Love card.
22.
Yeah.
Can I share something that came just through right now? It's so funny. So due date for our baby girl, it's 21st of August, which is 8.
Yeah.
21, but I have a very dear VIP client who works with me for over 2 years, and her birthday is on 22nd. And my husband, he always gets confused, and he was like, yeah, our baby girl is coming, I think 22nd or 21st. So it's 22, and 4 it's 8.
Yeah.
So be her due date,
Oh, I love it. So she's saying, hey, mom. I love this. But, the universal love card too, the message I'm feeling for them that they want me to share is, this, but I want to reflect it for you because they're asking me to, that this is a part of you contributing to the universal love, to the universe, this purpose of bringing through the soul, bringing through the magic of the life that she will lead on this planet, her path of light. This is all a part of, the expansion that you're contributing, and so much gratitude for you, to you from the universal light about the fact that you're doing this. And of course, your baby daddy, your husband. So really great. You're going to have a lovely time. I know it.
Thank you. I so deeply appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your intuitive wisdom, and how beautiful. I receive it.
Oh, wonderful. Well, everyone, this is Petia Kolibova-Burns, and she is still doing her abundance activation process calls. And so get in there while you can. Listen to her podcast, Unapologetically Abundant. Is there anything else we should have mentioned before we let you go?
This is so perfect, and I'm so thankful and honored that we could be here and have this beautiful conversation. And I know that just by being here, you and me and our listeners and viewers, they already got activated and something shifted deep within them. So I really honor them for being here, for showing up, whether they're live or whether they're listening or watching the replay. You're taking the steps to be activating the abundance in your life.
Oh, thank you for reminding us of that. Being in the energy, giving yourself the gift of listening or watching, being in your energy with the activated abundance codes already. So I received that too. Thank you. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate you. I hope we'll see you again on the podcast after you get ready to
be adulting again.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Thank you so much for being on. Okay, so I just want to say that I want to echo what was said in the conversation, that spending time in the energy of someone who has, such as Petia described it, certain codes activated, really does, we catch it like a good virus, even if we don't have to even be physical the way we catch physical viruses, but we do catch it. And I want to mention that again because I want to encourage you to continue to listen to podcasts like this one or this one, to be in your, your study or your exploration in spiritual and personal development. Because when you're in the company of the people who are bringing through that information, or they have these codes activated, it is happening in you as well. So just one more mention of that, and an encouragement and a congratulations that you are doing it. So now let me share with you this bit of teaching how to live miraculously as the higher self. Do you wonder if that's possible? Well, let me explain it to you in some kind of clear and pragmatic ways that might help you to say not only is it possible, but it's kind of the journey for every human. The concept of connecting the higher self and the higher will to the personal self and will is a fundamental aspect of transpersonal psychology. Transpersonal psychology recognizes that individuals have a higher aspect or a deeper level of consciousness beyond their personal identity. This higher aspect is often referred to as the higher self, and it represents a connection to something greater than oneself, whether it is a universal consciousness, a spiritual essence, or a superconscious. The higher refers to the guiding force or purpose that aligns with one's higher self and leads individuals towards self-actualization and fulfillment. The personal will represents the individual's desires, intentions, and choices based on their personal identity and ego, while the higher will refers to a deeper guiding force of purpose aligned with the individual's higher aspects of consciousness. It is important to note that this process of connecting the higher self and higher will to the personal self and will, it's not a form of spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing refers to using spiritual beliefs or practices to avoid or bypass personal growth, emotional healing, or psychological work. In contrast, the integration of the higher self and higher will is a process of self-actualization and self-transcendence. Let's talk about self-actualization as it is described by Abraham Maslow. And there, if you haven't heard of the Maslow hierarchy of needs, then just give it a quick look up. But it is a pyramid that spans from the basic needs of survival to self-actualization. And this is a process of realizing one's full potential and becoming the best version of oneself. It involves fulfilling one's unique talents, capabilities, and desires while also contributing to the greater good. So that's self-actualization. And then self-transcendence, as understood in the model of psychosynthesis by Roberto Assagioli. This refers to the capacity to go beyond personal limitations and beyond the identification with the ego and connect to higher realms of consciousness and embodying the qualities such as love, wisdom, and compassion. It is a holistic approach that acknowledges and integrates both the personal and transpersonal aspects of the human experience. So you see these two together. We have self-actualization, which is becoming the best version of yourself and contributing to the greater good. And then the psychosynthesis transpersonal transcendence model is that we have moved through that ego and gotten to that point of giving back to the collective, contributing for the greater good, and we go even further. And this will bring that higher self into the personal self. Self-transcendence is built upon self-actualization, as it involves going beyond the limitations of the personal self by fully embracing and developing one's unique talents, values, and potentials. True transcendence occurs by navigating through them, acknowledging and integrating them as a part of the journey, them meaning those unique talents, values, and potentials, the personal aspirations. Self-actualization is achieved when an individual becomes unshakable in their commitment to a secure personal identity, even if they haven't perfected every aspect of themselves, as it provides the bedrock for the transformative process of transcendence to take place. So we have an unshakability about those personal identity needs. That doesn't mean that it's always going perfectly because, if you have a sort of bedrock, a foundation of safety in the world, that doesn't mean you might not have, things happen in life. You could have a health concern. People in your life could have issues that, have us to feel that resonance, or we may have something occur financially, either in our personal finances or the external ones in the economy. But we still have a sort of threshold that we have gained to where it doesn't destroy us, and we have just a foundation in these areas. That's what we're talking about. Having that foundation, having some emotional stability and healing process, having some shadow integrated about this so that we can navigate the turbulence that would naturally come. Then we are ready for self-transcendence, lest we be spiritually bypassing if we are trying to avoid certain kinds of healing processes. So this is the process of bringing higher self into personal self. This process is how life can become magical and miraculous every day. It doesn't dissolve all the possibilities of challenges and struggles or any of the other turbulences of life. Life still happens, but the inner state can be unshaken by the outer occurrences. And the outer occurrences will be recognized as the direct magical effect of the being. The higher self will be able to utilize the personal self to execute higher will. That's the whole thing. That's the jam. I'm going to repeat it. The higher self will be able to utilize the personal self to execute the higher will. Thus, life becoming the unfolding of the soul's mission that was stamped upon the heart even before incarnation. That's what we're here to experience. is, maybe you've experienced this, or at least you know about this, when people have kind of gotten to a point in life when you're like, well, I'm pretty happy. Nothing, it's not that it's perfect, but I feel like all of these areas of life I've kind of gotten to a place where it's all working. Now what? It's that now what point. And that's when we are ready for the higher self to step in and to get to that self-transcendence. So that even if, when we are self-transcended, even if we lost all of these things, we would still be in this kind of deeper peace, because the higher self is the one who is able to hold the higher will perspective. So having explained that all to you, shared that with you, if you are interested in exploring and expanding in such a process, I have a private opportunity possibly for you. So I am a transpersonal hypnotherapist and a channel. I guide others through the process of actualization to transcendence. And I do this with deep tools that work in the subconscious and connect to the superconscious, which is another way to say we'll go to the inner realms and connect to those higher realms. Now, I do this because my transpersonal hypnotherapeutic tools that I've gone to school and had thousands of clients working in, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and I'm also a mind-body psychology expert. And as a channel, my experience of channeling from the higher realms, including higher self, that's actually what happens in a session with me. I'm channeling the perspective of your higher self in both the counseling and coaching session, as well as when we go into journeying, as well as when I am actually live channeling for you to be able to transmit those codes and those messages and that attunement directly into your energy body. And so I do have a very small roster of that I work with one-to-one in this kind of spiritual therapeutic container. And I offer a 12-session mentoring and therapeutic program. It's a coaching program. It's really immersive. I am available to you for 3 to 4 months, and we meet on those 12 sessions over that time period. And it's just a deep and immersive practice. So I have that available. As I'm recording this, and you can always check back in case, who knows when you listen to this, I have one spot available right now. And actually have a couple of people I'm talking to today, but I still wanted to share this as a teaching and then also as an invitation in general. But if you'd like to see if we are a fit to work together, you can find the link in the description to book a free 20-minute discovery call to see if we align there. But I do have a couple of other tailored to you programs, including my Mind Body Ascension Accelerator program. And that is for people who are doing this work as well, the actualization and the transcendence, and they really want to upgrade in an accelerated manner that mind-body ascension. So both of those, if you're interested in the latter, the mind-body ascension, I think I have a spot open for that right now too, but you could at any rate click through the link that you'll find in the description to book a free 20-minute discovery call with me to see if we are a match. And I hope that you found this enlightening, interesting. And I have this on a blog. It is about how to live miraculously as your higher self. And I cite for you some real solid evidence of this through some psychological concepts. So that link to the blog where you could read this bit of teaching that I was just sharing, so you can really digest it and contemplate it and embody it. You can find the link in the show notes here if you want to review that again. So there you go. I hope you also check the show notes for Petia's offer. She has that free call that she's offering, and then she has to take her baby moon. She has to take her maternity leave, but jump on that. Or perhaps when you're listening to this, she's past that maternity leave. And so that's what I have for you in this episode. Just a reminder that I would love for you to leave a review of the podcast, share it with someone if you think they would find it beneficial and edifying. And thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.